I'm Jay from the Kubz Scouts. Welcome back to another episode of Phoenix Wright, Justice for All. We just got done interviewing a clown and a ventriloquist dummy. We are about to go into the courtroom right now. If you guys cool with that, you down with that? Everybody get ready and buckle up, because here we go! December 29, 9:43 a.m., District Court Defendant Lobby number 5. Good morning, Max. Max? Milk. What? If I don't have a glass of milk before I go on stage, I just can't function, sweetie. Don't tell me he wants mom's sweet titty milk. This is stage? Starts off watery and gets creamy. Don't worry, there won't be a stage. All you have to do is sit down. I guess. Nick, Max is really nervous. That's understandable. Hey, my sweeties! What? You don't think I should fly, do you? Huh? You know, you've got to make a good first impression. When I enter the room, maybe I should fly in and warm up the crowd a little. No. We can't be having you flying around the courtroom. It just won't be right. Imagine if you hit someone. Don't worry, Max. Just do what Nick says and everything will be okay. Oh, sweetie! What is it this time, Max? Why don't you try flying into the courtroom? I can see it now, the dashing young lawyer flying fabulously in from above. One glimpse of that, and everyone in the room will be on your side. Max, really? No one needs to fly today. Nick, what's with that look in your eyes? I like the sound of that. Dashing young lawyer flying fabulously. Yes, me too. I love to look fly, and I love to fly fabulously. December 29, 10 a.m., District Court, courtroom number 2. We haven't been in this courtroom in a while, guys. Let's go. Oh, my favorite judgy. And now the case of one... What? What's going on? No, what? Your Honor, get on with it. Oh, sorry. I just realized that the defendant's name is Billy Bob Johns. So, well... Isn't the defendant also known as Maximilian Galactica? Yes, Your Honor. He often does go by that name. You know, my grandchild is a huge fan of his. I think everyone here wouldn't mind if we called the defendant Maximilian Galactica. It sounds more friendly. Huh. I wonder if that is to our advantage. Miss Van Karma, your opening statement, if you please. I hope you didn't bother thinking you'd win this one, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Huh? That spirit channeling trial was a sham. I refuse to acknowledge its legitimacy. Oh gosh, she's cracking the whip! It did not count! Did you hear me? She must still be upset about what happened last time. You have no chance. Zero. Zilch. Nada. I'm not losing this case. Why, you ask? Because it is not in the nature of Von Karma to lose at anything. I guess being born with the name Von Karma is a free pass to be arrogant and annoying. Ooh. Watch and learn, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I'll show you the textbook procedure for proving how absolutely guilty you are. Me? Guilty? What are you talking about? It will be my ultimate revenge. But it's not like it'll bring her dad back. There. Opening statement complete. Now, let's hurry and wrap up this waste of time. Very well. You may call your first witness, Miss Van Karma. Detective Dick Gumshoe, get up there, now! Oh, Big Dickie. Sorry to keep you from work, as I'm sure you need every penny you can earn, Detective. Don't mention it! It's no trouble at all! I've been looking forward to this. Very well. I would like you to begin by shedding light on the events in question. At your service, sir. All right, Detective. You may proceed with your testimony. Alright, guys. We haven't done this in a while, but get your left eye, your right eye, lock in. Details of the events. The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m., making it extremely cold out. All of the circus performers were gathered in the big top to practice their routines. The practice session broke up around 10 p.m. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. The victim was found bent over a wooden box dead as a doornail. The cause of death was blunt force trauma that snapped the vertebrae in his neck. I see. He was beaten to death. Here's the autopsy report for the victim. The court accept this into evidence. Autopsy report added to the court record. Time of death 10:15 p.m. Cause blunt force trauma to the back of the head. A blunt object. Very well. Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor. Okay, we just gotta question everything, guys. We just gotta question all of the things that he said. The night of the crime, snow was falling until 9:40 p.m., making it extremely cold out. Let me ask you about the snow. It was nearly a blizzard up until the time of the crime. Did it pile up? It wasn't such a big deal. Maybe about 1.5 inches was on the ground. The snow froze in place and stayed on the ground until the next day. The snow. Let me see. There's got to be more to this. Huh? What's the matter, Nick? I need to take a look at the court record. Mr. Gumshoe, what were the members of the circus doing on the night of the crime? He needs to look at the court record. All of the circus performers were gathered in the big top to practice their routines. Hold it! When you say all of the circus performers, who do you mean? Everyone but the dancers and staff were there. Regina the animal tamer, Mo the clown, Ben the ventriloquist, and of course, the defendant, Maximilian Galactica, and his victim, the ringmaster. Oh, I almost forgot. Regent the tiger was there as well. Out of curiosity, what about the circus monkey? When I was investigating yesterday, he happened to snatch my wristwatch. Detective, you are welcome to file a police report after these proceedings. The practice session broke up around 10 p.m. How do you know that, Dickie? After the practice was over, where did everyone head off to? Regina was playing with Regent while Mo went back to his room tired from work. Ben the ventriloquist went to the front gate absorbed in his own world. The ringmaster and Max went off to the ringmaster's room to talk privately. Talk privately, huh? That's awfully suspicious. You wouldn't happen to know what they were talking about, would you? It seems they were negotiating Max's salary. Actually, Max was asking for Regina's hand in marriage. The murder itself took place in the plaza in front of the lodging house at 10:15 p.m. Hold it! I'd like you to be a bit more specific about the events at 10:15 p.m. Okay, not a problem, pal. We've got a witness that told us how the whole thing went down. Wow! This is totally meaningless. Time to move on. Alright. We'll just have to revisit that testimony later. Detective Gumshoe, would you mind telling us how the victim met his end? Wait, I wanted to know that. Don't whip him. The victim was found bent over a wooden box, dead as a doornail. Hold it. A wooden box. That's right. The victim must have been carrying the wooden box when he was killed. Carrying the box, huh? It was a rather strange wooden box, Your Honor. What do you mean? Well, it was much heavier than it looked. Not to mention it was locked. Locked, you say? Wooden box added to the court record. The victim was hunched over this 20-pound box. It boasts a small but strong lock. This may be my only chance, so I might as well ask some questions. Ask about the box, ask about the lock, ask about the contents. Let's ask about the contents. Do you mind telling us what was inside that box? Well, when we found the box, it was locked tighter than Fort Knox. So we took it back to the station and cracked it open. All that was inside was this little bottle. Bottle? What is that, detective? Exactly what it looks like, Your Honor. It's a condiment bottle. What's inside the bottle? It's filled with pepper. Pepper? Why in the world was it locked in that big box? There was only one little bottle in that huge box? I wonder if that has some sort of special meaning. Small seasoning bottle added to the court record. Found inside the wooden box the victim was hunched over. It contains pepper. Huh. The cause of death was blunt force trauma that snapped the vertebrae in his neck. Hold that! Explain that. According to the autopsy report, the murder weapon was a blunt object, correct? You've done your homework, pal. And you haven't found this murder weapon, have you? The police are searching for it as we speak. My theory is that it is something the perpetrator ran off with. You would think so, especially since you didn't find it on the scene. No. I bet he made it disappear with magic. Ho ho ho! Well, I think we have a good feel for the details of the event now. I guess that's all we're gonna get out of Gumshoe in this case. You mean all we're gonna get out of him is that little bottle of pepper? Now that we have wrapped up with a detective, I'd like to call my next witness. Huh? I'm not even off the stand yet. Obviously, but that's due to you being slow and unable to take a hint. I don't know, but wrapped up has such a mean sound to it. I'm a sensitive guy. Thank you very much, Detective Gumshoe. You may step down. Miss Van Karma, call your next witness. I would like to call Mr. Benjamin Woodman to the stand. She must be talking about Ben the ventriloquist. I wonder if Trilo will show up on the stand as well. Oh no, here we go. Oh man, he's already getting his ass beat. Please state your name and occupation for the record. My full name is Triloquist. I am employed as an operatic tenor. Excuse me? The witness called to the stand was one Mr. Benjamin Woodman, ventriloquist. That roll must be cutting off your circulation. I said that I was a singer. Maybe you don't believe me. Fine, I'll grace you with a song. Ahem. Me, 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 me. The world of the law, exciting and daring, guilt or innocence, decided by a judge dressed up like a woman. Well, what do you think? It had a good rhythm. It's just the lyrics. They leave something to be desired, so to speak. Trilo, you know better than to insult a judge. Shut up! Just look at your nose. You would think you'd have the sense to fix it. It's so ugly I want to punch you in the face on the off chance swelling would help. You know that your nose is the reason you'll never be an A-list star. Celebrities must really enjoy saying everything that flashes into their minds. What's going on here? Order! Order! I demand to know who the witness is. Don't worry about me, sir. I'll let Trilo handle this. I'm not worried about you one bit. I'm worried about... Ah! You won't get anywhere trying to figure out this witness. Now, let's proceed. Man, everybody's so feisty in this courtroom. God damn. Oh yeah, everybody locked in. Come on, lock it in. Once practice was over, I left the tent with the clown. Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. That's when I saw Max, heading towards the scene of the crime. He was the only one heading that way. How could that punk not be the killer? Then the police showed up and took Magic Boy away. You saw Maximilian Galactica heading towards the scene? You're sure of that? Without a doubt. He had on his silk hat, cloak, and the dumb white roses on his chest. How can you mistake someone with that crazy getup and his nose stuck up so high? That's enough. I think we all get the picture. Just one thing. You said you ditched the clown. That's right, dress boy. Well, since you weren't with him, couldn't that mean the clown committed the crime? He's got a point. What a shame. It was a nice theory, but the clown can't be the culprit. Why is that? Here's absolute proof. A silk hat? This was found at the scene of the crime. It belongs to the defendant. Without question, he was wearing his signature hat during practice. If the clown was the murderer, there would be no reason for this hat to be at the scene. Well done, Miss Van Karma. Your prosecution skills are unrivaled. Well done. Thank you for stating the obvious. Mr. Phoenix Wright, what do you have to say? Okay. I guess she's the boss again today. Whew. Alright, let's do this, guys. Cross-examine that wooden ventriloquist ass. Once practice was over, I left the tent with the clown. Where'd you go? The clown. You're talking about Mo? Of course I'm talking about that old fart. He's so pathetic, I can't stand him. Just a little bit of exercise and his makeup is running all over the place. Once practice was over, he was 9/10 of the way to kneeling over for good. Poor guy. We didn't have any choice, so Ben took him back to his room. When it comes to being a first place loser, that guy's ahead of the pack! Then what happened? Once we got to the lodging house, I ditched him and went back to the plaza's entrance. But why? Why'd you do that? Why the plaza's entrance? To do some thinking, of course! It was awfully cold out that night, especially with all the snow around. Wouldn't thinking in your nice warm lodging house have been a better idea? Ooh, got him there. Mr. Phoenix Wright, I think you should leave the thinking to the witness. But I'm a good thunker. At least my teachers always said I was. That's when I saw Max heading towards the scene of the crime. How do you know it was Max, though? Are you sure it was really Max Galactica? Of course I'm sure. How could you mistake someone wearing such a snobby three-piece getup? Snobby three-piece getup? Get the wax out your ears. Lawyers nowadays, you're like talking to a brick wall. Max's three-piece getup. Jeez, could you be any more dense? All together now. Silk hat, cloak, white roses. Thank you. Nick, I think you should put a little bit more effort into preparing your questions. No. I think that is what we need. Hold on. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go back to that. When he said he saw him. That's when I saw Max heading towards the scene of the crime. Didn't he leave his hat? Made to order hat that is a symbol of Max's fabulousness found at the crime scene, right? Hold on. Let's, I think that's it. I think that's it, guys. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna wind it up and we're gonna say, OBJECTION! Oh, that's not it. That's not it. I'm so embarrassed. I know it's not it because the music's still playing. Ay, ay, ay! He was the only one heading that way. How could that punk not be the killer? Let's hold that one. You saw Max and only Max, right, Trilo? That's right, and that makes him the killer. There was only one person headed that way that night. That makes quite a bit of sense and makes Max one suspicious character. There's more to this story than meets the eye. Is there something amiss in this? No problems. There is no proof it was Max. Ben only saw Max? That's a bit strange, don't you think? What's strange? That you only saw Max. Doesn't it seem like you should have seen someone else as well? What? Where are you going with this, Mr. Wright? Who else do you suppose this witness could have seen? It was supposed to be Mr. Barry, right? The victim and the ringmaster, baby! That's the victim. That's correct. If Trilo was at the entrance to the plaza, he should have seen the ringmaster as well! Aha! Obviously, the ringmaster arrived at the scene of the crime before the witness. Could have seen him. Anyone with sense could have figured that one out. What are you talking about? The ringmaster and Max went together to the ringmaster's room. Is that, according to the defendant, a likely story? If Maximilian Galactica was supposed to be in the ringmaster's room, why was he, just as the witness stated, at the scene of the crime? I see. It seems that at this stage I have no reason to doubt this witness's testimony. And there are clearly no conclusive contradictions. He's right. A brilliant judgment, Your Honor. Now, let's move along with the testimony. Trilo wouldn't happen to have an ulterior motive for incriminating Max, would he? Well, Max is part of that bitter love triangle with Regina, which is probably why Max conked him over the head. Nick, wasn't Ben the one who got knocked over the head? Yeah, I think so. I don't know anymore. Okay, once practice was over, I left the tent with the clown. Once we got to the lodging area, okay, let's see here. Then the police showed up and took Magic Boy away. Around what time did the police arrive at the scene? I suppose that would have been around... Hey, what time was it? Huh? I think it was around, I'd say a bit after 10:30 p.m., I think. Practice ended at 10 p.m., so you hung around the lodging house the entire time? I guess that sounds about right. Wasn't it awfully cold? I can't believe you just stand outside in that weather. Well, the truth is... Will you shut up, you big-nosed dope? Why are you telling him anything extra? Why can't you believe that we just stand outside in that weather? Well, maybe you were waiting for someone. What? Who said we were waiting for someone? Objection! Mr. Phoenix Wright, we can all do without your offhanded theories. Objection! Yeah, object that bullshit. But this witness, he's cracking under the pressure already. I'm onto something. Mr. Wright. Who do you suppose the witness was waiting for out in the cold that night? Oh, I know. She a Regina Berry, young, underage, mamacita. How dare you, Ben? You nasty! Well, if he was waiting outside in the cold, it was for one person. And one person only. He was waiting for the animal tamer, Regina! Wah! You were waiting outside for Regina to come back to the lodging house. Am I mistaken? Is this true? Well, you can't really ask me that question. Who cares what I was waiting for that night? What's important is what I saw. Don't you forget it. Well. The puppet may be a bit stiff, but he's right. Huh? All right. There was obviously a reason why this witness was there that night. He spent all that time waiting for Regina to arrive. Moreover, even if someone else would have walked right in front of him, I doubt he would have paid them a second thought. Ah! Yes, doubt he would have paid them a second thought. That makes perfect sense. What did you just say? The witness saw the defendant at the scene of the crime. I'm so glad Phoenix has grown some big objecting balls. However, he did not see the victim on his way to the eventual demise. If you accept that, then you must accept that there is a high likelihood that he could have missed someone else other than Max heading to the scene. Ow! There was absolutely no proof that the witness was waiting for the animal tamer. I guess you got me. Alright. I'll spill the beans for real this time. It's true. I was waiting for Regina. You're divine! Don't volunteer things. Mr. Quist, tell us the truth this time. And I mean the whole truth. Were you or were you not waiting for Regina at the entrance to the lodging house? I was. I was waiting to propose to her. You were what? Waiting to propose? Yes, guys, waiting to propose. What's the matter? You think that humans have a monopoly on marriage? That the matter of puppet marriage is not under review in this case. You're the judge. I mean, look at your horrible outfit. More pain. Huh. Thanks to your bumbling, my perfect plan is not so perfect anymore. Now we have to waste time getting to the bottom of some silly proposal by a puppet. Alright, third witness testimony, guys. You're already locked in. Just keep it locked. Keep it nice and tight. Don't be so surprised that I was going to propose to Regina. I even had something to give to her. I kept it in my pocket, waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her. Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. I doubt that, because I'm the one that has it in my pocket, Sonny. You were going to propose? You? A puppet? Don't be so obtuse! Just because I'm a puppet doesn't mean I can't love. I guess you're right. Just because I'm old doesn't mean I couldn't propose to her too. Whoa, bro. She's 16, dude. FBI. FBI, your man's is right here. Exactly. Oh, he agreed with that. Your man's is right here, FBI. Open up. His honor is looking a little less than honorable right now. Okay, Mr. Wright. Please continue with your cross-examination. What was with that sigh at the end? I have no idea. Don't be so surprised that I was going to propose to Regina. You know what? We're holding everything. By proposal, you mean proposing marriage, correct? To Regina? Of course that's what I meant. What kind of stupid question is that? Was it going to propose that we became some sort of outlaw biker gang together? Right, Ben? Yeah. Got it? That's the truth. Sure. I even had something to give to her. What was it? Was it circular, that could fit around a ring finger? What was it exactly that you planned on giving her? You know exactly what I was gonna give her, numbskull. The only thing I could find that could match Regina's beauty. Answer his question. What was it? You're gonna die when you hear this. It's an engagement ring. Engagement ring? Wow. Those two nearly fell out of their chairs. Mr. Phoenix Wright's joke has gone too far. Time for this to end right here. Francisca's whip looks like it's about to lash out at almost anything. One hit from that thing will probably shut someone up for a long time. Pain equals bad, push on anyway. Man, we just gonna push on anyway. I'll take the whipping, I like the pain. It may be something of a joke, but this is a historic moment. The first time that a puppet has ever proposed to— Ow! I advise you to cut this argument short. I'm going to have to agree with the defense here. Will the witness please revise their testimony? Specifically about the engagement ring. I'd like to stick to facts, not sociology. You sure do enjoy sweating the details, especially for a man in a black bathrobe. I plan on giving an engagement ring to Regina. I kept it in my pocket, waiting for the chance to propose and give it to her. Of course, I also had it in my pocket that night. It was a present for her. In the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. Is that right, buddy? A cheap ring with an eerie sparkle from T to R is engraved on it. I think I'm gonna wind it up and say, OBJECTION! Give me some! Trilo, do you mind if I show you something? What is it? What are you talking about? Uh-oh, looks like they're going to double team me now. Do you recognize this ring? Ah, that's mine! Give it back, Dave! Dave! Didn't you just testify about this very object? I believe you said, in the end, I wasn't able to give it to her, so I've still got it in my pocket. Why then do I have it right here? Ah! Yeah, guys. Shh. Got him! What is going on here? That's... Ben! Say something! Don't put me on the spot like that, Trilo. I found this in Money's room. Money's room? You mean a room they put money like a bank vault? Ha! That filthy monkey is gonna get what's coming to him! Mr. Quist, I would prefer if you avoided slandering innocent fiats in my cart! Well, Your Honor, Money really is a monkey, in every sense of the word. Ah, I see. Well then, Money likes to go after the shiniest things that he can find and gather them up. Shiny? Things? Trilo, when was this ring stolen from you? Well, I suppose it was. That time, you know, that night of the crime. What did you just say? Details. I need more details. Well, it was stolen right after Max showed up in the plaza. Right about when you saw the defendant walk past, correct? Well, I guess you might, be able to say that. The ring might have, well, it could have been taken around that time. Ah! Oh! 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 I like making the monkey sound effects. Oh! Ah! Oh! Ah! Ah! Sorry, guys. Ben, what's up with you? Oh, whatever! There's nothing to do with anything, especially not who committed the murder. It's not for you to decide what has to do with what. Now, Trilo, back to the topic at hand. I haven't admitted a thing. Not I, Mr. Ventriloquist. What did you do when the ring was taken, Trilo? You know exactly what I did. I chased after that ring-snatching monkey Money. But you weren't able to catch up with him, were you? It's all this slow, loafy fool called Ben's fault. While he was fumbling his way through the snow, that dumb monkey was able to get away. That is indeed an incredible shame. Well, this does indeed prove one very important point. Prove an important point? What point could that possibly be? Ben doesn't exercise enough. Ben's testimony has a flaw. There was a huge contradiction in this witness's testimony. Contradiction? The witness just testified to following effect. Up until the police arrived, he didn't move from the entrance to the plaza. However, the witness just stated that he chased after Money the monkey. When the witness was off chasing Money, there was no one watching the plaza. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Where are you going with this little theory of yours? I'm saying that there is no possible way that this witness saw the plaza the entire time. That's where I'm going with this little theory, which leads me to my next point. It is entirely possible that someone other than the defendant was at the scene. Interesting, Mr. Well then, tell me this, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Do you have any proof that something slipped past this vigilant ventriloquist? Well, he obviously didn't see the victim, the ringmaster, arrive on the scene. However, that doesn't change the fact that he saw the defendant arrive. The witness is lying. He is blinded by his rivalry with Max. Well, the defense's argument does hold water. This witness does have a history of animosity towards the defendant. What? How dare you? I wouldn't lie just to get the dorkface in trouble. He's not even worth it. I saw him, no doubt about it. I saw that wordless liar. Well, just for clarity's sake, let's flesh out exactly who you saw on that night. Ha! I told you so many times. You'd think you'd know my story's not changing. You've already changed your story, stick boy, and I'm sure it will change some more. Where there is one lie, there are usually many more behind it. Exactly, Maya. That's why we have to keep after him. Yeah. Whew! This is getting intense. All right, another witness testimony. Let's get it! I'll give you that I was waiting that night for Regina. But that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. He showed up after I had been waiting there for about 5 minutes. I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence. I'm absolutely sure it was him. I saw Maximilian Galactica at the scene. There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. So that means that Money didn't show up until after you saw Max? That's right. Money ran up less than a minute after I saw Max. Then Money snatched the ring and you went chasing after him? How long was it until you came back to where you were waiting? Well, let's see. I'd say about, I suppose 5 minutes, I think. So the victim could have arrived at the scene in that 5-minute stretch. Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination. All right, I think I know what I want to cross-examine. I think I have a good idea with this one. I'll give you that I was waiting that night for Regina. That's good. But that doesn't change the fact that I saw Max in the plaza that night. He showed up after I had been waiting there for about 5 minutes. Okay, let's hold that. About what time would you say these events took place? You're one of the dumbest people on the planet if you can't figure it out yourself. You already know that practice finished promptly at 10 p.m. And you already know that I went to the lodging house right after practice. You don't need to be a brain surgeon to know around what time it was when I saw him. Just add 10 more minutes. I'm sure you could do that. Now, what time was it? Indeed. What time was it? What time was it? Let me think about that for a second. Ow! I'm no good at math. It was 10:10 p.m. Ah, yes. That sounds about right. It sounds about right because that's the time I saw Max on the scene. Okay, that wasn't it. I said good evening to him, but he didn't even acknowledge my presence. Did you say good evening to him? Did you really? So you testified that you said good evening to Max that night. You must enjoy asking incredibly obvious questions. You say good morning in the morning and good afternoon during the day, right? And it's obvious that I'd say good night to someone at night. What, Ben? You've got something to add? Let me guess.
That's not it, Trilo. You say good evening at night. I'm sorry, Trilo.
Mr. Quist, I would prefer if you kept your ventriloquist act out of the courtroom. Impossible! A performer lives and breathes his performances. You should know better. There's got to be something wrong with this bit of testimony. Nothing specifically. Trilo's evening greeting. Ben's half of the comedy act. Trilo's evening greeting. Isn't that a bit strange to you? What do you mean? Well, if you hate Max so much, why would you bother being nice to him? It strikes me as somewhat strange. Why would it strike you as strange? Exactly. How is it strange to be cordial to one of your coworkers? Well, if it was simply just being cordial to a coworker, I would understand. Yow! That hurt! Maybe you should think of having some proof before your lips start flapping next time? Proof is everything in this world. You should have learned that back in grade school. Well, didn't they have a fight in the cafeteria? There's no reason that Trilo would ever say something nice to Max. But how do I go about proving that with the evidence? Bluffing is everything in this world, but I'm sure you already learned that one. I guess I can give it a shot. The witness will resume his testimony. I'm absolutely sure it was him. I saw Maximilian Galactica at the scene. There's no way I could mistake someone wearing those 3 ridiculous symbols. Did he not have one of the things on? I swear. Those 3 ridiculous symbols, huh? Out of curiosity, how exactly many times have you asked that question by now? If you're gonna ask again, I'll answer with a chorus. Everyone together now! Silk hat, cloak, white roses. Thank you very much. Maya, you didn't have to join in, did you? But it's fun shouting out with everyone else. There has to be a hole in his testimony somewhere. I agree, but do we have the proof to make something stick? All we can do is try, right, Nick? We've got to have something that will prove useful. Alright, time to go to work. I'll give you that I was waiting that night for Regina. Wait, I gotta look at this real quick. An orange juice bottle that was found broken in the cafeteria floor. Okay. So, do I present that? You know what? Let me save real quick. Let me save because I only have like one more life left. I'm gonna save. And I think I know what to do it on. He said that he said good evening to him, but they fought earlier that day, so we are gonna wind that thing up and we're gonna say, OBJECTION! Boom! Trilo, is it not true that you had a fight with Max on the day of the murder? A fight? A fight over Regina, to be exact. It wasn't that big of a deal. It was just an argument, a disagreement at most. A disagreement usually doesn't end with someone getting clonked over the head. Ah! That morning, Ben got clobbered over the head by Max, didn't he? What? Is that an admission of assault and battery? Ouch! Before we handle that, we should wrap up the defendant's murder charge first. The truth is that on the day of the crime, the defendant and witness had a huge fight. There's absolutely no way they would have suddenly become cordial that evening. Moreover, just consider the personality of the witness on stand. There is no way a puppet this lewd would just go up and say good evening to his rival. Ah! Are you saying this witness is lying? That he is trying to frame the defendant by claiming to have seen him at the crime scene? I didn't tell a single lie. Honestly, I just... That's enough from you, Mr. Quist. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? Let's clarify this testimony for the court. Could you explain your theory about who the witness actually saw that night? He didn't see anyone. He saw the defendant. He saw a different person. Ooh, I have like one life left. I think that he saw a different person. It is my belief that the witness did indeed see someone that night. It was just someone else. That's who he said good evening to. What kind of theory is that? The correct one. Furthermore, I don't believe the person the witness saw was Max at all. What? If he had truly met Max that night, there would have been no greeting at all. Which means there is only one proper answer. The person the witness saw that night was not Maximilian Galactica. That is why Trilo made the effort to greet whoever it was that he saw that evening. Or good evening, as he put it. What in the world? You... Would the defense kindly explain who it was Trilo saw that evening then? Maybe it was Regina? Please? This is the person that this witness felt the need to greet that night. How about it, Mr. Quist? How about you stop asking me these ridiculous questions? You can show me all the crappy picture you'd like, but not one I wouldn't greet. What the oak are you doing, Woodman? You better not say, Trilo, watch your mouth. Oh, well, okay. Sorry about that, Trilo. Order! Order! There will be no order in my courtroom, Mr. Wright. Damn it. Uh-oh, now I've done it. You better rethink this line of questioning before I lose my patience with you. Would the defense kindly explain who it was Trilo saw that evening then? Who did he see that evening? Did he see Mo? No, maybe he saw Russell Berry. It's either gotta be him, but he said Mo went to his room already, right? And he wouldn't say anything to Max. So it's gotta be Mr. Berry. Please. Considering the ill temper of the witness, there is only one person he would greet. It must be Regina. It's Regina, right? She's so cute. No, Your Honor, it is not Regina. If it was Regina, Trilo would have given her the engagement ring as a present. Oh, yeah, I suppose you've got your point there. It was Russell Berry, the victim himself, was it not? You are correct. It was indeed Russell Berry. The person you saw that evening was the victim, the ringmaster, Russell Berry. That's why you greeted him, Trilo. Isn't that correct? Answer the question, Mr. Quist. Ah! Order! Order! How do you respond to this? Wait a second. Well, at first I thought it was the old man. But, once I got a better look at him, it was obviously Maximilian Galactica. You guys believe that horse shit? I think it is high time that we clear the air about this question. Mr. Quist obviously witnessed a single person in the area of the plaza that evening. The problem is identifying exactly who that person was. Was it Maximilian Galactica? Or was it the ringmaster, one Mr. Russell Berry? The prosecution argues that it was the defendant that the witness saw that night. The witness has clearly stated that he saw the defendant's 3 symbols. 3 symbols. Alright, this is getting old. Come on, man. You've got to remember them by now. Here we go again. Everyone, all together now. Ow! Yes, we know. The silk hat, cloak, and white roses. That's the only time I'm gonna like Von Karma. A silk hat and a cloak. Anyone could wear them. They'd even look good on me. What was that? Well, the witness has endlessly repeated that he saw Max's 3 symbols. However, how do we really know it was Maximilian Galactica? It could have been someone else dressed up as him. Possibly even Russell Berry. What? Miss Von Karma, do you have clear evidence that the person the witness saw was the defendant? Well, If that's the case, then it is impossible for me to make a judgment at this point. Yes, I think we finally won a point in this one. That is very unfortunate. Huh? You're just a little too excited for your own good, Mr. Phoenix, Wright? What do you mean by that? You merely established one thing from this witness. You established that this witness saw one person in the plaza that night. I applaud you on your effort, but... who that person was can only be answered by the next witness. Huh? Your Honor, the prosecution will provide, beyond a shadow of a doubt, an answer to that question and evidence that clearly establishes one thing. That there is no one other than Maximilian Galactica responsible for this crime. Who is she gonna call up next? Very well. The court will take a 10-minute recess. During that time, I request the prosecution prepare their next witness. Court is now in recess. Whew. Wow, what an episode. To be continued. Okay, I don't know who she's about to call up for the next witness. It's gotta be Mo the Clown. We are about to check that out in the next episode. Hopefully you all enjoyed. If you want to see the next episode as soon as possible, make sure you guys give this video one big fat like. And tell a friend today that Jay from the Cub Scouts is dead. Dude!